and it's both of us. It's not just me. And Jay's going to get up and say a little bit about himself too. He's busy as all hell today, so yeah, I'm going to get him out of here as soon as possible. But welcome to the workshop. This has been a long time coming, just about over a year now. It's the culmination of a lot of things. It's been a long time in the making, and it's spawned from a lot of different ideas and ways that we thought we would develop, not only as a construction company, but as a way to benefit our construction company in the long run. So we have the workshop today, but it really all started with Toby Perry Company. And Toby Perry Company is a general contracting company that is pretty diversified. We're split into three major parts, and we'll get into that. But it started about 10 years ago when we looked a lot like that. This is there's a race car driver from here named Tony Stewart. There was an opportunity for Jason and I both to go and work on this project in 2009. We, in our own right, had little construction companies of our own. Anyone that was in business or was alive in 2008, 9, 10 knows that was not the best time in the world to be in construction and or business, maybe even. Like it was a pretty tough time. So this opportunity presented itself, and we thought, what a great opportunity to go out and build a one-of-a-kind structure with some pretty interesting people. So we took the chance and did it. Jay and I knew each other in high school and had worked together a little bit after high school. But this is the first time that we'd had a real chance to work together on a daily basis. And we were there for about a year, and in that year we started getting some phone calls, and things started warming back up in the department of construction and small construction. And we thought, hey, let's maybe take a chance and try this together. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Jason Toby, and he can tell you a little bit about himself. We're both from Columbus, by the way, both Columbus North graduates, and born and raised. And everybody, it's the much older but handsome Jason Toby.
We dropped off the phone call, but we will be back.
We can see you now.
Bob, we could always see you. We just couldn't hear you. You went to mute.
It's Brooke. They're doing through Brooke's phone, I think. All right, are we back? We back?
Yeah.
All right, great. I can see your screen too, Brooke. Thanks.
Yeah, okay.
Good to go.
Okay, I'm Jason Tovey. Travis and I have been together for 10 years now. I can't believe it's been 10 years. Yeah, back at this time, we were working 4/10s Monday through Thursday, and then we were working Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, doing our own thing because we were young and
awesome. Yeah. And then we got so busy that we had to exit this awesome project. But yeah, fast forward 10 years later, and here we are. There's, I think we have 14 employees now. 16 total. Still trying to learn and grow every day, but putting out a good product is that's what we want. So yeah, I'm born and raised here. My grandfather, a lot of people are familiar with Gene Tovey shoes. Both my grandparents, my other grandfather, Lauren White, decorating. He was a painter. My father was in construction and on the fire department. And that's how I kind of came to get in this side of the business. So building trades through high school, and worked for Roger Nichter, very respected builder, like a second dad to me. Worked for him for 10 years and went out on my own for a year. And that's when Travis and I got together, and I'm going to keep this ball rolling, keep growing. So far, so good. Do a lot of, well, Travis will probably get into it, but light commercial is kind of probably our favorite, but we keep getting pinned hole into this residential remodels and homes, which is fine. Pretty diverse. So not married, might as well be. Got one child of my own, raised 4 others. So when I'm not here working, that's pretty much what I'm doing. Other than that, yeah.
Here's our IT. How we doing?
Are we good? Okay,
Yes.
cool.
All right. So yeah, as Jay mentioned, May 10th, 2010 was the day that we decided to get married. We signed the documents, created the S Corp, and did our thing. 10 years later, we're sitting in this office upstairs. It's just a few weeks back, and we were probably griping about something. And it was like a Tuesday morning, and it was like the 12th or 13th, and we realized that we'd been in business for 10 years, almost to the day. So it goes by really, really quick. As Jason said, you know, he worked for Roger Nichter. In previous life, I worked for Milestone Contractors as a mechanic for 10 years before I ever got into this line of work. But from day one of the things that we wanted to do was, we wanted to be the best. We wanted to be the company that people called when they wanted something difficult done. They wanted something challenging. They wanted something that wasn't a track home, or something that, you know, they didn't feel comfortable calling most companies to go do. So from the very beginning, we wanted to follow these guidelines of being the best. So it's like, you know, client communication, quality craftsmanship, using good products, using products that we know and understand and that we like, and that we, you know, that we stand behind and trust. Project management, just trying to manage not only projects, but client expectations, personnel, the neighbors of the clients of the house that we're working at, you know, all of those things. You know, you want to keep everybody in line and happy and happy, and that all falls in when you're in the residential market. That very much so falls in line with project management. So our philosophy, which I guess we're touching on now, is, you know, Columbus has a rich and storied history. of architecture. Obviously, everyone in this room probably knows about a little bit about the architecture. But not only the architecture important in Columbus, the construction of those buildings and the difficulty in which a lot of those buildings had to be constructed probably doesn't get talked about, but it's fact. First Christian Church, for a tower like that to be built in post World War II, to North Christian Church, which is a lead coated copper skin structure built by, I believe, Dunlap in the early 70s. These buildings were constructed by amazing construction companies that still exist today, and we wanted to fall in line with those companies that all started as very small construction companies with people's last names, like Dunlap, like Taylor Brothers, like Reppinmont. We wanted to follow in those footsteps, and we wanted to be that in 20, 30, 40 years when him and I are retired, hopefully, or we're not around any longer. That was sort of our goal. I think Jay mentioned building trades from Columbus North. The C4 program started when we were in high school. C4 basically stands for the 4 touching counties sort of to our south and east of Bartholomew County. So it's Jackson, Jennings, and Decatur, including Bartholomew County. And Columbus North houses much of the vocational programming in those 4 counties. It did in the 90s, and I think it's only advanced and gotten better throughout the last 20 years, and it's still a strong vocational force in the area today. Jay and I took a path that's different from a lot of folks. We didn't, neither one of us went to college. We started work right out of school, and I think we look at it like 4 years of college debt isn't for everybody. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. 4 years of student loans isn't for everybody, but it's I think the trades and vocational programming, there's a lot to be said for it. We're very proud of what we do, and we've brought a lot of the young guys that we have in that have worked in trades and have worked in the vocational departments during high school at North and East and some of the other departments in different counties. So we're very proud of that. I'm going to just run through some of the projects. I'm not really going to get into the weeds with them, but some of the stuff might be things that you recognize around town. The type of commercial work we do, we consider that like a boutique commercial work. We give the same type of effort into our commercial projects as we would a residential project. So the attention to detail, the working with a client, being very personal and personable, that is what we bring to the table when we're doing commercial work. All these projects were designed by the same local architect, Louis Joyner, at least the ones in this slide. We've done several others, but these are some of the ones I thought were good representative projects for some of our commercial work. This building is in Edinburgh. You would have to, it's Macbeth Hardwoods, you would have to try very hard to even try to find it. But I'm pretty sure it's one of the more attractive buildings in Edinburgh. We also dabble in, well, we don't dabble, we are in, very much so, site and utility work. And I'm not going to get too far into this, but about 4 years ago, we hired some guys that were operators. We wanted to do our own site work, self-perform our site work. It became hard to get someone over here with an excavator or a skid steer or whatever to move some dirt, to dig a basement, to do these things. So we decided to invest and hire our own guys with their own equipment. And that led into some underground work. So we do sanitary and storm sewer. We work in water line distribution. We're very close and have good relationships with Columbus City Utilities, Columbus City Engineering Department. We're by no means a Dave O'Mara, but we definitely have gone out and fixed some water lines that have been busted on weird times of the week. Back to kind of our bread and butter, residential projects. So again, I'm just going to sort of glaze through this. A lot of the stuff that we do, I think people would say it's high end, or what I would like to say is it's challenging. It's unique. It is. It's something that you wouldn't just call anyone maybe to go do. There's a reason you called us to bring us to the project. Sometimes the site's challenging. Sometimes the materials are challenging. It varies, but the commercial or the residential projects that we get, I feel like are my earbuds. Residential projects we get into, they're always interesting, from renovations to new homes. There's always a very interesting element to them. Another part of Toby Perry Company is we like to call it giving back, because that's exactly what it is. This and it's typically to arts programming. So arts programming, we've been involved with Exhibit Columbus, we've been involved with CMAD. Some of you might recognize this. I was a project coordinator with the students that designed and built this project. It took us about 7 or 8 months to do it. One of the young men that worked on the project works for us today. So I built relationships with all those kids, and that was a really exciting project. We used like 50 miles of that string. I will never forget it. Some of you may remember this, Exhibit Columbus 2016. Anything can happen in the woods, Plan B, a couple of young architects out of Connecticut from Yale University, Bamal and Joyce. Lovely people, fun project. The grass mounds look really good in that picture. And then it quit raining. 411, the little CMAD art gallery. Liz can speak to that here in a little bit. Daniel Martinez and Lulu Lakiti. Arts Council, my bad, yeah. Funding, yeah. We just build the things. I get a little confused as to who manages it and who funds it. Nevertheless, this is located on 6th Street, open gallery. One of these days it will be open to all you fine people again. Currently, I believe it's visible from the street, lit from early in the morning till about 10 at night. But this is the back residence art studio for like the artists in residence. I highly recommend you stop by and check the room out sometime. Yeah, Lulu was on 49 Fridays a few weeks back. I'm sure this is part of her presentation. And law office, yeah, Daniel Martinez, Lulu Lakiti. It's one of their local projects. This is also the IU, another Exhibit Columbus project. It's the IU entry portal. This is Daniel Martinez and Etienne Santiago, and they were the professors that headed this project up. I'm sure you've driven by. I think it's still up. Is it still up? I think it's still up. Yeah. So that is on 2nd Street in front of the beloved Republic building. About the company. So as I was mentioning earlier, Jay and I started. It was him, myself, and one of our good friends growing up in high school, Jason's best friend, and there was 3 of us. We did about $170,000 in gross revenue that first 8-9 months. And 10 years later, we have 16 employees, and I think one of the best years, and it's been recent, has been around $3.5 million gross revenue. So we've been pretty steady in growth, but that has done nothing but create problems as well. Growth means you need space. Space means that you need to have the money to buy the space and the means to then fill the space. And that's sort of what led us to the building and the property that we're standing here talking about today. So at this moment, we're about halfway, it's 8:30. If anyone had any questions, either via Zoom and or in the room, I'm happy to take them. Yeah, absolutely. Questions, bathroom breaks, coffee, Miss Delgenio. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you repeat the question?
So the question is, in giving back, Julie's asking if we ever go to any of the C4 classrooms and lecture, speak. The answer is no. We haven't been we haven't been asked. Let's just say that. So we haven't been asked. I know I've been approached in years past. I feel like I'm walking way out of the camera. I've been approached in years past, but there's never really been any, nothing's come to fruition. And I know that Jason and I both would be very happy to do so. Yeah. So what I have done, so CSA, the one school that we have worked with is CSA, Columbus Signature Academy, the high school down on 25th Street. Every year they do a career fair, and I've gone, minus this year, I've gone every year probably for the last 5 or 6 years. Every year they've asked me. So I've been there. And so if that answers the question. Anyone else? Correct. Yeah. I can't talk about the workshop without laying some foundation for Toby Perry Company. So, because we would not be here without that company. Okay. So here we are. So I think I left with problems. That's where I was talking, problems. So in like 2013, Jason and I were renting space in a building that I can see. If I look right through the lobby in the south direction of the building I'm staying in now, there's 2 buildings that face one another that are giant storage unit buildings. We were renting one space that was around 1,200 square feet, and we had things stuffed in there like I mean, it's like a dorm room closet. It was just like full. There was no room to work, but we did have a roof over our head, but a place to park our trailer. We had minimum, but we were growing so fast. We were hiring employees, we were buying equipment, and space was needed. The real estate market for large buildings to house a company like ours at the time was pretty sparse. This property came available and we mulled over it, ended up purchasing it. There's around 12 acres here, just under 12 acres. It reaches all the way back to the Mahan property that Nugent has controlled for years and years for quarrying purposes. When we first bought the property, this probably 1.5 acres, 2 acres up here was the only developable part. we have slowly but surely developed most of the property that is not the old quarry in the back, which will eventually be about 6 acres. In 2014, we built the first building, stealing the idea of where we came from, which is a big rectangular pole barn box with a bunch of slots. And we thought, you know what? If we can rent half of those or a little more than half of those, that's going to pay for us a shop. We're going to have a shop in the internet thing, all problem solved. We got a shop. We got a shop, we got a place to put our shit, we got a place to put our saws, our truck, our more trucks, whatever. We've got our place to put our stuff. This is what we wanted. So that didn't last long. It got real busy in there real quick. And then like businesses do, they come with paperwork, and I was doing all that. They come with payroll, they come with invoicing, they come with estimating, they come with accounts payable, receivable, balance sheet, quarterlies, all the things. And I was doing all that. Now, I don't do that very well. I did it well enough, but we found someone that does do it well, and we hired her. And Debbie Davey is our office manager, and we needed a place for her. And that first place was my kitchen table. And then it became this little room in the back of our shop. And I can tell you that nobody wants to work in that little room in the back of our shop. But Debbie Davey and I worked in there for a long time, knowing that we needed more space. So the problems kept coming, and running out of space was that looming problem. We own this property, we own the lot, we built the lot up and readied it for a build when we built our first, constructed our first building. 3, 4, I guess 5 years goes by, and we finally figure out a funding device. We find a private investor. We have had a plan, a rough skeletal plan for this building, which is going to be similar to the first building. It's going to house these large units, and then on the end of it's going to be this office. And that office is going to house 3 people. Now, that's kind of silly. Like, why would we just build this office for 3 people? So Louis Joyner is the architect on this project. Him and I are noodling. And what ends up happening is we're like, let's take what was 8 suites, there are currently 7. Let's take one of those. We're going to make that office. So we took from this wall right over here to about 22 feet over. We made that office, and then we stacked it. We put a second story on it. We're like, what in the hell are we going to do with all this space? It's way more space than our little construction company with 3 people need. So I'm like, you know what? I know what we're going to do. We're going to have engineers and architects working in that office. That was round one. That was the dream. That was me being pragmatic, and Jason and I talking through this and saying, we are going to have engineers and like-minded people that are in our line of work. They're going to work in this building. Well, that wasn't really going to work because there's not enough engineers and architects that don't have space, or we're going to come in here. It didn't work. And it took a group of people close to me, sit me down, reel me in, and show me that I was just being too pragmatic. I was not being open-minded enough about this space. And what was going to have to happen is this space was going to have to evolve. It was going to have to be way more creative. It was going to have to be way more open to different industry. It was going to have to be available to people that are photographers, insurance agents, drug reps, anybody that needs a seat or a space for 2 hours a day. They need to be able to have access to this place. So the studying began. This all happened late summer, because this time last year, this place was going to be for architects and engineers and people in the same line of work as what Toby Perry Company uses every day. This is going to be like a construction-based kind of, graphite pencil type place. We were going to have CAD up on the screens, and like that's what was going to be going on. Fast forward to August, I am visiting every co-working space that I can possibly go to. I'm looking online, checking out their websites from the Atlantic coast, New York, upstate, Buffalo, Phoenix, Detroit. I'm reading about co-working spaces all over the country and trying to figure out how in the hell do I do this in Columbus? How do I make that work here? So from a very pragmatic approach, we switched to a very open-minded approach. Furniture has to be put into place. We already had the building designed. The building was in middle construction, August, mid-construction. There's another part to this co-working that's not just having some people come into your space and work. There's these platforms. How do we keep track of these people? How do we make the Wi-Fi work? How do they print? How does that stuff happen? It's not just magic. There's platforms. There are these many platforms of these co-working companies. Well, how do we use those? How do we pick which one of those we're going to use? So a group of people get together. Plant, Jameson Ogle, Plant Inc., Plant Financial, thank you. Plant Financial, Jameson Ogle. I go to him and I'm telling him our idea, and I'm saying, how do we make this building work with co-working? So we start studying the platforms. We start talking about how it's going to look, how it's going to feel. Then we start rebranding. We're like, well, holy crap, we have to rebrand this thing because this place is called Long Road Storage. That's what it was. On this building right around the corner just a week ago, it said Long Road Storage. It was just this big, silly sign. And COVID's hurt the timeliness of a lot of things, but we rebranded this last fall, and the entire campus was changed to the workshop. So our storage, our co-working, these suites, the entire thing, all changed to the workshop. So I've got Jameson Ogle from Plant Financial, Lewis Joyner's helping with the drawings, some of the interior stuff, Brooke Hawkins, Aaron Hawkins. They were a huge help working through the graphic design piece. If you read a piece of literature that was on the website, any of those things, Aaron Hawkins probably proofread it and told me what I did wrong. And RJE out of Indianapolis, as a local furniture company, they're the Knoll rep. We use them as our furniture rep. Everybody that took hand in this place is either from Columbus or Indianapolis, very local. So we used local people to solve what I would call, a problem that's kind of this is sort of a big city thing. This is a metropolitan thing. This isn't something that just crops up in Columbus. So we used local people to figure out what the platform, by the way, is called Proximity. I got an email from one of the Indianapolis companies, Switchboard, just yesterday asking us how we use Proximity. How do the doors work with Proximity? Do you like it? It was kind of cool. I met this lady at a co-working summit in November, and she owns one of the most successful places in Indianapolis, and she's emailing me asking about our platform. So it was kind of cool. So we have about 15 minutes till 9. Yeah, so I'm rambling a little bit. Apologies. The coffee's kicking in, maybe too much. So we have all these people in place that have helped land this space, but I'm with Jason running a construction company, and we have people walking in, wanting to look at the space, wanting to inquire about memberships, things like that. I I can't run down from upstairs and talk to every person. And that was something that I didn't really count on. I thought, well, how, it's just going to happen. People are going to sign up online. Well, that's not really the way things work. People come, they check it out, they see it in person. And I needed some spirit. I needed someone in here that's going to actually make this place feel alive. We needed that spirit. And one night at IU School of Architecture during a presentation by Aaron Schiller, Liz Cleland sat next to me. And out of a conversation we had after his presentation, we decided we should have coffee. I messenger on the Facebook Messenger app. She responded 3 days later, and I'll be damned if we didn't have coffee. And here she is today, Liz Cleland. Hey, spirit. Oh my God.
Something else to go to. We do have, I'm a hashtag plant mom. We have a plant baby for you to take home with you. So please do that. And if you're not in the room, hey, feel free to come by anytime and we can get you a plant baby and a free day pass. So I have about 20 minutes worth of stuff to say in 5 minutes. Are you guys ready for this rally? Are you ready? Woo! Explained himself in book to reference just a little bit about myself, and I think a little bit why the connection between like Jason and Travis and I like works for this space. But that's been nixed from, you can, if you're interested, please come and see me afterwards. Speaking of hashtag plant mom, yeah, I'm not from here. I'm from the Chicagoland area. Columbus is much different than Chicagoland. Josh Ratliff in the back of the room definitely helped me be a little bit more Columbus and integrate a little bit differently here.
Can't hear you, Liz. We cannot hear Liz.
Are we good now?
We're good. I can hear you.
Oh,
now.
good. Thank you. I can hear you. Oh, I heard somebody talking in my ear. Technology. Yeah, so these are just kind of a little bit of a level up. We still have 4 suites available. So if you know of anybody, I have this like perfect utopia in my head of like a coffee roaster out there, right? Roasting my coffee, right? Like somebody like growing plants for me. Possibly a massage therapist. Having their office out there, right? Massage therapist, Jesse? Yes, second. Okay, you know somebody. Give them my number. And then, of course, where you are right now, the co-working space. Obviously, we're trying to have a creative environment. I think just like kind of how Travis was talking about their business being very flexible and very diverse, this space is the same. 3 days ago, there were desks in here and, no kind of casual furnishings. We really want this space to be flexible based on our members and based on what the need is. So That's kind of the environment we're trying to create here. Wireless printing and large format plotting, those beautiful signs, we plotted those. I didn't even know what that was. Yeah, we did it, so we got you covered. Phone booths coming soon. Here to private conversations. That'll be happening. The acoustics in here are a little bit echoey, so those will be coming soon. Shower. Julie Del Genio, you ride your bike over, you want to take a quick shower. She said, oh God, no. You could take your quick shower, you know. And then this, you know, all the snackies, the coffee, which I call AM beverages, some PM beverages, beer and wine, all those good things. Those are here now. Yeah, that's what's, yeah. She like, fill my coffee cup. Yeah. The cheerleader has to be in, did you call me Spirit? Here's the Spirit. Yeah, so there are different levels. I mean, based on what your need is in an office space. Like I already talked about the day passes. You could just come for a day, try us out. We actually, there's a cost to it, but we could get you like a free day if you want to try it. Corporate's really flexible. It doesn't have to be like a business. It can be a group of friends who come together and be creative. We have one membership like that. There's a few different flex options. So either 6 times a month or 10 times a month, you're gonna come in. And again, that's all run through this Proximity app, which thank you, Jameson, for setting that up, because one of the things when Travis asked me to kind of help manage the space was, how do you manage all of those people, right? Like once the ball gets rolling. So it's all in Proximity. Thank you very much. Wayfair, which is where we think we'll see a lot of membership, is somebody that maybe if you've worked at Cummins and you're used to their kind of collaborative office space, right? It's like, just come in, do your thing. Maybe you just need to answer a few emails over here. Maybe you need to hunker down and go to a desk. That's kind of flexible. Or maybe you want to be a resident. You need like your feet on your little footstool. You need your like little grow light and your fan, right? Like we can set you down. I call them grow lights. I don't know what the technical term is for humans, but yeah, so like we'll set you up with your own space. Julie, what do you want? A resident or Wayfarer? Oh, she's flexible. Julie's Wayfarer. Okay, I like it. And then we really want to support, I think a lot of businesses, right? You have events, and maybe not just, again, with peers, but maybe it's an organization you work with. I don't know, Thirsty Thursdays. Maybe you're not thirsty on Thursdays. Maybe we'll do Thirsty Tuesdays. I don't know. Your resident membership gets you a private event a month as well. And then the really exciting one here is member-led programs. So maybe it's Brooke of Brooke Hawkins Design, and she's going to do 30-minute consultations to help you with your kind of design of your business. Maybe it's a photographer, maybe it's Tony, and he's here helping you take headshots, right? So some of those member-led programs, as soon as we continue to roll in members, we really like that to be led by our members, but then also a support to this community we're trying to build. So let's do it. Let's get connected. Follow us on the Insta, Facebook. You can sign up for our newsletter. Has anybody already been to the website? Am I the only creep that before I go somewhere, I like totally stalk them? Erin, she's like, I did all the copy. I've been there. Yeah. Feel free to Facebook stalk us or whatever you need to. You can have my phone number too. Let's get connected. Discussion. This is where I am not talking as much, hopefully. You have some questions or, I mean, I said my perfect utopia of who I want here, like a coffee roaster, right? And a chiropractor and massage therapist. If you have any ideas for that too, feel free. What do you think?
Well, I was excited to hear that a furniture upholstery company
Yes.
a service that we needed, and I was excited for you guys because I think that's the type of business that you might open.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question?
Creative, like, geared toward practical or artistic.
Yeah, Yeah, so Aaron just mentioned one of the suites that we do have. It is being occupied by, is it Classic Upholstery?
Yep.
Yeah. So you can't miss it. He puts an upholstery sign out every day. He's like, this is it. This is where I am. And I originally thought it was car upholstery, but he's done beautiful work for, you know, furniture as well already that we've seen. But, and it's also cool to like see some awesome classic cars like coming in and out that he's been working on. So Julie, yeah.
So I'm curious why you mentioned the comment when you spoke earlier. So what are your plans for the other, you said it's 12
Yeah.
that you have. So at this point, are you noodling around anything like maybe cut the wall, any?
So you need to, yeah.
Yeah.
So the question was about what the plan is for the rest of the acreage here on the property.
Yeah, I mean, so one of the things that, I mean, this is pretty high level, 30,000 feet type stuff. Can you guys hear me? Dennis? Oh, okay, yeah, that's good, good. All right, so one of the things that's been talked a little bit about is, so something that would go really, really well with co-working would be, say, daycare, child care services. I may be talking out of turn because I don't know that it works in this zoning area, but that's something that you deal with down the road. But it would certainly be convenient for a co-working space if there was very nearby, perhaps even on-campus childcare. So that's something that's been tossed around and discussed. We've not really burrowed into it, but that's. So what Brooke asked is, is it certified wetland? We have 6/10 of an acre that is a wetlands in the center of this, and sort of the center of the property. There's an area that sort of circumvents that and then reconnects that is all, it's mostly been filled and is developable. This section directly to the east is about probably 3.5, 4 acres. And we're about to get our LOMAR, which is our letter of map amendment for that piece of the property. Bob. Yeah. Yeah. So the workshops are 22 feet wide and 60 feet deep. They are all internet ready. They have LED lighting. They're very, very bright. It's like full white liner panels. So the ceilings, the walls, everything are white. Each one has an individual restroom facility. So there's water available, so you can, you know, hose, spigot. There's a floor drain in every unit as well. Yeah, the units all have HVAC, so they're heated and cooled. They're obviously insulated. The overhead doors are 14 by 14 foot overhead doors, so really any sort of deliveries could be had there. And there's a, what's that? Yeah, I mean, I think this is for Zoom. I'm just describing. Yeah, anyone that's present, I can show you one of the ones that's, I mean, I don't think the lights are on in any of the ones that aren't rented. And I'm probably not going to show you, but we'll open the door and let everybody know. Okay, cool. So yeah, we'll show you around. But yeah, I mean, as far as build out, yeah, you can build out in them. You could put a mezzanine or, you know, kind of compartmentalize, you know, the areas. Yeah, we've been approached by a couple organizations that wanted multiple, and we would just take 2 and make 1, or 3 and make 1. Yeah, and the dividing and the demising walls are not they're not structural. They're simply a demising wall. So so yeah, they're very adaptable for whatever needs. I mean, you could do things from mine Bitcoin to have a wood shop. I mean, it's you know, they're 1,300 square feet, free span open spaces. Yep. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for everyone that came in person, and we'll give a little tour in person for anyone who wants it. Thanks.
Let me just wrap up by saying to those of you on the call, thank you for your patience. As you know, it's really important to experiment and try new things, and we certainly experimented with this 2-venue process today. We've got some work to do on that. I would encourage you to get over to the workshop and take a look. Very unique facility with co-working, meeting spaces, and then the really unique aspect is the ability to have those small bays, those workshops, if that's the kind of business you have. So very ingenious and beautifully executed. Just a reminder, next week we'll do Blueprint Stats, which is the company that takes video and kind of interprets it into game stats. So thank you all for being with us. Have a wonderful Friday. See you soon. In person, I hope.